Hello everybody, welcome to Velocity Online Racing once again for the Kentucky 300k. It's a long awaited highlights video that's been delayed for a little while, but we are finally here for the final race of VOR Season 1, and we have Oscar Gonzalez on the pole and everybody else behind, as a matter of fact. So we're gonna go green here. Oscar gets the field into turn 1. And that's the race for a car of Matt Houston taking over P2 from Oscar Fredriksson, Julien Altena and P4. Already going to the high side there. And we got Matt getting a run on Oscar. Let's see if he's going to go for the lead. And it looks like he just backed off a little bit there to stay behind. So the top three pretty much breaking away already because everybody else behind is battling for position. You can see Tyler Bloom slightly tapping the wall there. Normally running the green car, but this time running the red car. And Oscar Gonzalez still in the lead. Matt Houston still in P2. Julien Altena got up into P3. And that's Sean Reynolds losing a little bit of momentum. And you can see right behind him is Alex van der Sant. He started from the back. Not really a good qualifying showing for him there. So he's gonna have some work to do to get back up to the front. Well, we say back up to the front. Alex is a really experienced driver. Not only on the road courses but also the ovals. So yeah, it is his first race in the league, but we do expect him to get a pretty decent result if he can keep the race clean, obviously that is. But going back up to the front of the field, on board with Gary Gotzo for Team Robcar Racing, or since Gary joined Team Robcar Racing. And he is following the race for his car of Matt Houston in P2 as Julien actually takes that position right now, moving up into P2. Gary still P4, trying to make a move on Matt here into turn 3. Let's see if he's going to be able to pull it off. And it doesn't look like it yet. So we're going to keep an eye on that one. Everybody else behind is also battling for position, but we are focusing on the front mainly, as we do in pretty much all of the highlights videos. And you can see Max Davies sliding up the track a little bit, losing some momentum to Ryland Dewsbury, who had a really good race last week in Texas, by the way. Didn't really mention that too much, but he did spin on the start of the race and really did well to fight his way back up to a top 3 position there. So yeah, we gotta give him some credit for that, because we did miss that in the highlights video last week. So 2 weeks ago I should say, but for the race the week before. But lap 6 now. 7 actually. The laps are really flying by quickly at Kentucky. 1.5 mile track, 24-second lap times. And you can see Julien Altena going down low to pass Oscar Gonzalez for the lead here. And these are going to be the first laps that Julien is going to be leading. And don't forget, by the way, that these two drivers are battling for the championship. That has been completely unmentioned as well. Julien Altena going for the championship fight with Oscar Gonzalez. Julien has a pretty significant lead of well over 40 points on Oscar, so really all he has to do is just finish the race. Don't do anything stupid, as we have a car spinning and I don't really know who that is yet. We have to wait and see. It looks to be the 3 car of Monty, and it looks like it was. So we've lost 2 cars because another one got collected, unfortunately for him. So yeah, that's very unfortunate, but we got our first yellow of the race. Pace car is back in again, and we're going back to green flag racing. Julien taking the field to the start finish line, and from there they can pass. Don't do that before the start finish line to avoid all the black flag nonsense that iRacing has. It is a rule to basically try and avoid that the best we can, because Julien is the main admin. Me actually, I'm doing this in third person commentary, but it's hard to admin races while you're driving, so that rule is mainly in place specifically for that. But after the first lap of the restart, like you would expect on the fresh tires, everybody just fighting for position, trying to get some track position. You can see Alex van der Sant making some moves on a blue and pink car. That might be Jabril Garcia, not exactly sure on that. But he is making moves nicely, Alex that is. Already into the top 10. So it's going to be interesting what he can do in this race. As you can see, Tyler Bloom defending a little bit into turn 1 from the 2 cars behind. And that's Oscar Gonzalez as well, making a move. Now we got another white car that I don't really know who that is. Apologies about that, by the way. It's hard to really tell who is who, because everybody has sponsors and everything. And they do tend to change their paints on trading paints quite often, so it's hard to tell who is who, and it's easily forgettable, so I apologize about that. Thankfully we do know the people that run the same paint most of the time though, like Oscar Gonzalez, Oscar Fredrickson, Gary Gotzo, Robert Sadler, Julien Altena, Sean Reynolds, these type of guys always running the same paint, or similar paints, so they're easy to tell apart, and who is who, but we're now on board with Alex van der Sant once again into turns 3 and 4. And he's making moves on Gary Gotzo in the 51 car for Rob Curry Racing. By the way, for Season 2, that's starting tonight actually, Robert Sadler, Gary Gotzo, Julien Altena and Oscar Fredrickson have formed a team for Velocity Online Racing. We expect Oscar Gonzalez to stay with Nicky Racing, as that's, I believe, his own team. But at the meantime, we are on board with the number 3 car once again, and this time his race over for real. He's hit the apron in turn 2 and lost the back end of the car, sliding into the wall, and has some terminal wheel damage there. So his race is done. That brought out a yellow, and everybody else that didn't really pit the laps before have now pitted as well. So we're gonna see how this plays out. We also expect Alex van der Sant to join Team Raceverse, as that's how the teams stand right now. But going back to the restart here, we have about 80 laps to go still, so it's a pretty long race, pretty hectic so far. We're gonna see if people can keep it clean. So the green flag is back out again. And that's Matt Houston following Julien in P2. Both drivers going side by side right now. Matt's going to try to lead a lap here. Leading a lap also gives you 1 extra championship point, as well as leading most laps, the fastest lap of the race. And also 2 bonus points for the pole award, which went to Oscar Gonzalez, of course. So, yeah, the only 3 awards that you can really win so far is leading a lap, leading most laps, and the fastest lap of the race. Which is really only achievable in the draft, because that's so big that you can really gain a couple tenths a lap with that. So we're gonna see who gets that, but the main focus is on the championship battle, and this battle on track as well, between Alex van der Sant and I believe that's Ryland Dewsbury, and Alex got ahead of him there. Going to lap 45, you can see Alex van der Sant getting loose off of turn 4, and that's a really easy thing to do. Everybody obviously on the weight jacket to improve the car's handling, but as soon as the tires go off, without any actual warning, you can just lose it off of turn 4. And that caught out 2 or 3 drivers in the race tonight, so we're going to have to watch out for that. But we have about 60 laps to go, 50 maybe. I kind of lost track on the lap count, to be honest, but this is going to be the final pit stop for everybody else in the race. Everybody just taking fresh tires, new fuel to get to the end. And it is really just a shootout to the end from here, as far as that term goes along, because everybody is just really spread out. And I noticed that my stop word has become everybody else. Okay. Anyway, that pit cycle, Julien pitted 2 laps before Alex van der Sant did, and his tires have now gone off a little bit as well, as he got really loose off of turn 4. The same thing that happened to Alex earlier on in the race. This time with 25 laps to go though, so not really ideal, but Alex van der Sant takes the lead, and from here, with the tires falling off, it's really difficult to pass. So from here, Alex van der Sant just drove to the finish. Really good race, and you can see here on the final lap of the race, Alex van der Sant coming from pretty much the back of the pack to win the Kentucky 300k in Velocity Online Racing. The final race of the season. Alex wins it. 52 points for him in the championship. And most importantly, the Drivers' Championship goes to Julien Altena. Really good competition with Oscar Gonzalez there. But in the end, Julien just being more consistent with showing up to the races. With Oscar missing 2. That pretty much meant that it was an easy, as far as that goes, championship for Julien. So congrats to him, to Team Shake and Bake as well on winning the team's championship. That's Julien, Sean Reynolds and Brian Kerrigan racing for that team. But tonight, the 26th of September, 7 p.m. Eastern time, US that is, we start season 2. Unfortunately, it won't be broadcasted. We are still looking for that. So if you actually are interested, then send us a comment on the YouTube video and we can maybe get in contact and discuss pricing and all that good stuff. But yeah, for now, the highlights videos are going to stay. Not exactly sure if that's going to be from Kane Jr. or myself. We'll have to wait and see. But I do promise to you guys we will get the videos out. So yeah, we're looking forward to Season 2. Everybody in the league is. The first race of Season 2 is going to be at Homestead in the nighttime, so it's going to be a pretty good race. Might even see some bits of pack racing in the beginning of the stints. But yeah, as I said, we'll have to wait and see. But for now, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for the support as well over the course of the season, and we hope to see you all for Season 2 tonight at Homestead, Miami.